A very good afternoon to you. I hope I find you very well. And what can only be described as a glorious Tuesday afternoon. Tuesday? Is it Tuesday? I think it is. Anyway, all I do know, however, is that I missed the opportunity of making this video for you yesterday, which was the 4th of May, which I could have then wished you happy Star Wars Day, of course, because May the 4th be with you. Anyway, as you've probably seen on the title, basically what this is kind of a discovery for me, and I'm sure it's something other people must have experienced, but kind of not me, as it were. So let me take you back a little while, just to bring you up to speed, especially if you're a new guy, girl here. Part of my panoply of problems, try saying that after 15 or 16 pints, is a long-standing issue called eczema. Now, with eczema, you get all the problems that kind of non-eczema sufferers have, which is, as you're probably aware, we all lose skin cells all the time, every day, every week, every month, every year, every decade, so on and so forth, because most of the household dust is made of us and other people who come into your house. So when you're tidying and you're mopping up dust with your duster or your whatever it is, what you're actually doing is actually taking up skin cells. Anyway, by the by, I'm not here for household cleaning tips. With eczema sufferers, sadly, because our skin tends to get very, very dry, we tend to lose more skin cells than a normal person would, a non-eczema suffering person. And we also use, to counter that, more kind of emollient-based soaps and creams, etc., to help us out during the course of every day, because I can tell you from personal experience, if you don't use it and your eczema gets really bad, life is not pleasant in so many ways. So you're saying, well, that's all very well and good, Stuart, Dr. Stewart. We know that you've got a dermatological degree, but we're not here for that. What we're here for is you talk about watches. Bear with me. Due to being locked down, officially locked down for longer than the rest of us initially, I'm fully aware that I'm of the opinion that the first 3 weeks was only the first aside for all governments. We're now in the second 3 weeks. I have no doubt at all that we will have another 3 weeks after this, if not longer. Sorry, gone off into alternate theories then. No. Anyway, as part of that, I'm stuck in my house until the end of June. I've been told that because I am an at-risk category because of my asthma. So like all of us, you sat here thinking, well, what can I do with my time? And I just thought, just really to fill a day, I thought, I'll change my watch. Now, I know that's something we all do. Don't ask questions. And I got out my beloved Seamaster 300 Bond. I love it to pieces, and I love it to pieces for a number of reasons. I love it to pieces because I've always liked the watch. Like a lot of people, they saw it on the wrist of Pierce Brosnan and thought, ah yes, if I buy that watch, I can be an MI6 agent. Oh yeah, I know, I can. And we all know that he wore the quartz, but like a lot of us watch nerds, we waited until the automatic came out. Now I waited a long, long time, but when I bought this, it was my pride and joy. It was my first relatively expensive piece of watch. It cost me £850, as I think I mentioned in another video. Second hand now, if you find a good one, about 2002, 2003-ish, give or take. So I've made a little bit of money on this, even if I wanted to sell it, which I don't. So I thought, well, I'll change my watch. So I did. And as I was looking at it, I was thinking, you know, it's a bit grimy. Now, the problem is, of course, we will all suffer this. We all transfer bits of us onto these. And obviously on something that's got such an intricate bracelet as that, which I still maintain is the best, most comfortable bracelet ever designed by any watch manufacturer. This has got absolutely filthy. So I thought, well, I'll give it a good clean. Now, I gave it a clean, and immediately huge amounts of black gunk came off it. Now, that's not only just bits of me, it's all the grease and the emollients that I have to use. But on a lesser level, a normal person would just get their bits of skin and normal bodily oils that come out of your skin on this. So we should all clean our watches at least, once or twice a year. But what I mean by the title of this, falling back in love with watches, when this was cleaned, it looked new again, because the guy that I bought it off really loved it, and he was selling it reluctantly because he wanted to buy a Planet Ocean, and the only way that he would placate his wife, because as we know, happy wife, happy life, simple, was to divulge himself of this, get some money back from it so he could buy a Planet Ocean. So I spent half an hour, 3/4, giving it a good clean, and to my eye, it then looked like it would have looked when it was in the shop window. It was beautiful. The grime had got all over the crystal. It was appalling. All around the lugs where you've got the connection with the strap, the bracelet and the watch itself, all around the crown where you're always messing with your fingers. I don't use the healing release valve. I'm not a diver, certainly on this watch with the clasp, with the dive extension that's in there, absolutely dreadful, appalling. And once I'd finished and I'd spent, say, 3/4 of an hour or so on it, this thing was absolutely gleaming once again, and I fell head over heels in love once more with this. So kind of what are my tips for looking after this kind of thing? Well, what I used, and I'm not saying you should use this is just me. Like all my videos, it's my opinion. My opinion is no more valid than your opinion. I suggest you don't use strong acids and things like that, of course, but it's just what I did and what I do when I clean my watches. And I use this. Now, if you can get this anywhere other than Britain, I mean, it'll be around in Ireland, I would imagine, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's in most countries, certainly of the Commonwealth, as it were. This is Goddard's. Goddard's silver polish. Now, it is by that hallmark there means it's by royal appointment. Goddard's has been selected by the royal household, so Buckingham Palace, Windsor Castle, all that kind of thing, to be used as an official product on the care and the restoration of all their silverware. So it can't be that bad. It comes in a little bottle. It is 125ml. When you open it up, it is, I'm sure there must be some in the cap, if not anywhere else. I'll show you. You might be able to see it's a slightly whitey pinky colour. And what I like about it is it's very simple to use. Now, I know that might sound like I'm teaching you to suck eggs, but I'm not. You do get some cleaners whereby people say you need to apply a small coat and then wait for it to go cloudy and then fortunately, I mean, hopefully my Omega's not that dirty, but I use Goddard's, and I also use a nice microfiber cloth. It's nice and soft. You're not going to find it hard work, and it does do a really good job of both cleaning, and then of course you just fold it over and you can use the same cloth to polish. So as I say, I don't think my Omega is going to be completely dirty again, because it was only last week when I did it. But I just put a tiny little dab. There it is, look. on there. Now, it's going to be difficult for you to see, but you know, there's the crystal, for instance. Now, you know, as you saw, I kind of just touched it with my finger when I was talking about the watch itself. And all I basically do is try and get as everywhere I possibly can around the bezel, underneath where the bezel joins the case, and just keep a gentle kind of round and round movement rather than a side to side movement, on the basis that what I don't want is a load of kind of horizontal scratches, if indeed you were using a powerful abrasive, which you shouldn't, to actually take out anything that may well be there. Now, as I say, I washed this last week, or cleaned this last week, washed it last week, yeah, put it in the machine. That is what has come off it. Can you see that? That big brown stain there, and you can even see it the other side of the cloth. Now, I find that amazing, because this is clean last week. Last week! So you leave it for 30 seconds, 45 seconds or so. Get a clean part of your microfiber cloth. Go around in exactly the same manner as you did when you were cleaning it. And then once you've done that, and hopefully you will be able to see this difference, because I'll try and get some light from my window yonder to show you what it's like. Now, I'm stunned that in a week that has got to the point where it got more grime off it, which goes to show how much skin and stuff I actually lose in a week. And now, trust me, you won't be as bad as me, but you will be losing stuff, and that is just beautiful. But I got to the point, say, I cleaned it last week, and I was amazed how beautiful the watch looked, and it gave me kind of an insight into, although I didn't buy this brand new, what it must have looked like in the shop window when somebody was looking for a new watch back in the day. When was GoldenEye? 84-ish? Anyway, by the by. And a little bit like when you wax a car, you run your hand across the bonnet, all of a sudden it feels like glass. It's absolutely beautiful. Well, funnily enough, the glass, the sapphire crystal, feels like glass. It is gorgeous, it's smooth, it's clean, it's beautifully reflective now. You know, it's simple stuff like that that's made me fall back in love with this. And every week now, what I've done while we're in this lockdown, on days where I'm not unwell due to my pain issues and now my bloody MS, that I'm going to clean a watch thoroughly every single week. Now, another tip that I use, I'm not suggesting you use this, not saying it's the only way of doing it, because you will have your own ways, no doubt. Just put the tap on this so I don't actually use it. Now, one of the hard parts in this watch I found, inside the clasp, because you've got the dive extension and then obviously the adjuster inside the clasp there. Obviously, if skin particles can get on the outside of the bracelet and on the inside of the bracelet, it's going to get in there. So you think, well, how the hell do I get a cloth in there to clean it? Well, I don't. I use one of these. Now, cocktail sticks, are great for cocktails. Of course they are. And as we know, Mr. Bond will always perhaps have one, maybe two olives in his martini. The beauty of cocktail sticks, or the ones I buy, is that they're actually quite a soft wood, and they don't do any damage. It's brilliant. They're hard enough to go through, a little sausage, or if you're having a dinner party or something like that, or indeed, as we've said, an olive. But the beauty of it is, the small point is ideal for getting into these inaccessible kind of little places inside here, and they get all down where the pins are. You can undo the dive suit extender, getting underneath that kind of thing. And once these have done their job, they're just disposable, because they're pennies for a pack of these. I mean, I think I bought a multi-pack of these, and I think there was 5 of these little drums in a pack for £1. So I don't know what that actually calculates to per item, as it were, you know, a cocktail stick being an item. But I mean, you know, it's nothing. You know, it's absolutely nothing, and it's something which I find very useful for something they were never designed to do. And it brings out all the gunk and the rubbish and the dust and the skin and everything else, and just enables you to get into places that you wouldn't be able to get in normally with any form of cleaning, cloth, mop, whatever. But you end up with a watch that is all you expected it to be, and how you imagined it would have been in the shop window in the days where GoldenEye was the latest movie at your cinema. And because of that, I've now gone through, I've cleaned really well, probably 3, maybe 4 of my watches, just to give me something to do on one day of this lockdown, say working around my illnesses, and every one has come up beautifully. I'm wearing my Pepsi Dial Rolex GMT Master 1 today. I gave this a clean, because believe it or not, I think I said many years ago when I made this video about this watch, obviously it was my father's, and he used to wear this to work. Now my dad wasn't an office worker. He didn't have a cushy little job, sat in a leatherback chair, sat at a desk all day. No, he was a heavy engineer, worked on massively great machines, huge great things, and he wore this to work every single day, with a variance now and again for his Roma Mustang that he owned, which now I own, which is somewhere in my library. You'll find it, I'm sure. But when I first got this, I did clean it when after my dad died, I cleaned it really well and it came up really well. But I cleaned this last Friday. And it's beautiful. Again, the clasp mechanism, is like new. It is a gorgeous thing, and the Goddard's is very, very gentle, but it is powerful enough to actually take out the kind of minor day-to-day scratches that appear on watches, certainly the clasps and around where the bezel is, when you ding them. You've not done major damage, but you ding it on the corner of a table or on a doorway, or as I tend to do these days, door handles, because I actually have to use door handles kind of to steady myself, and I tend to ding these, not all the time, but I have. And then when I find a scratch, I use something like the Goddard's, which will take it out, and also then of course clean it. I also use the cocktail sticks on this as well. And it's just glorious. It's glorious yet again. So it's rekindled not a love that I'd lost, but a love that wasn't as passionate as it was. So, when you've been with your girlfriend or your wife a decade, let's say, you don't quite fancy her as much as you did then. Similar thing. And this has rekindled that love, because the up close and personal care that you're putting into looking after these what can only be described as magnificent little machines, macro engineering, has rekindled that fire in me to love these things. I've always loved having a watch on my wrist. I never go out without a watch. If I'm staying in all day, if I feel ill, when I get up in the morning, I'll put my watch on. It's one of the first things I do. It has rekindled the passion to have not only a nice watch on my wrist, but a clean, nice watch on my wrist. And what it results in, because if your watch is lovely and clean and it's reflecting the light, etc., people will look and they will ask you questions potentially if they have a passing interest in watches. So that's it. That's that little one for today. As I say, not wanting to teach you to suck eggs. It is all about caring for the things that we delight in buying. These things, for a lot of us, are not cheap. They are an investment. And like most investments, they should be looked after. You wouldn't buy, a 1932 blower Bentley in gorgeous British racing green, complete with Union flags on the doors, etc., and then not look after the thing. You wouldn't put it in a garage and expect to be able to go out and drive it every other weekend on a Sunday and for it to expect it to run perfectly or look as nice as it did when you bought it, for instance. Treat these the same. These are as complex, if not more so, than the most complex internal combustion engines. These are tiny, tiny little things which need our low band attention, and why you should have them serviced. And if you're going to have them serviced, why not clean them now and again? Let the watch repairer or the service depot know that you actually care about your watch. So that's it for this one. Let me know. Let me know if you, as a matter of course, clean these things. Let me know why you do it. If it just rekindles the love in you for these. Let me know if you've got any cleaning tips, something I don't know about, maybe a sonic cleaner of some description. If you take your bracelet off and put it in a sonic jewellery cleaner perhaps. Let me know whether you do that. Let me know whether this is something you've never really thought about and you just assume that, a quick wipe over with an oily rag, for instance, is enough for your watch. Because, we don't understand the amount of us, this body, we lose on a daily basis. It just goes into the air, and then you can see it all over your house. You see it on your TV screen because the static electricity attracts it, that kind of thing. That's all us, and the people we live with, and the people that we love. It's all bits of them. And all the oils out of your body gets everywhere on these things and makes them just look old and unloved and uncared for. Clean a watch. Clean a watch. Rediscover the love. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this interesting in a little way. And I look forward to getting your comments whenever you have time. So for now, that's it. If this is your first time here, this is just me babbling on. I do lots of stuff on here about my health, my current new issue, which is multiple sclerosis. I will talk more about that in an upcoming video. So if you are unfortunate enough to have had it a while, you're awaiting a diagnosis, there will be other stuff. There is one in there at the moment, and it will increase. So for now, people, if this is your first time here, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you just enjoyed this, get it out there. If you think somebody else will gain something from this, get it out there. Thank you very much indeed for watching, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Bye bye.